What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name is Michael Roman, aka Allfires. You know, for a project that we all at once thought was canceled and at some point last year, the new Vision series coming up on Disney Plus has had a ton of crazy breaking news over the weekend. And if you missed the reports from the Hollywood trades early in the weekend, apparently according to the Hollywood Reporter and Deadline, not only is James Spader back as Ultron for the series, but also a possibility of a return for Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch. Well, in the last 24 hours, we've had a major update from trusted industry insider Daniel RPK, who built on those reports from the Hollywood Reporter and Deadline, offered a bunch of new details, including an inkling that we may be headed for a West Coast Avengers iteration of the team. We're going to break down all the latest updates from Daniel RPK and what he's saying about the upcoming Vision series. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do. Super simple. All you got to do be a sub, leave a comment. That'll automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. And if you want, stick around at the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Also, as I've been telling you guys for the last month, my band Allfires is going to play our very first show in the Atlanta area a week from today on Sunday. Tickets have been moving really well, and I cannot thank you guys enough for the support. If you want to win a couple of tickets, if you're going to be in the Atlanta area or live in the Atlanta area, and you can make the show next Sunday, all you got to do, comment down below Allfires ATL or Allfires Atlanta. We'll go ahead and pick a couple of winners, get tickets right out to you guys. And again, if you want to pick up tickets, there's a link in the description. Tickets are super cheap, only $15, but are limited. We'd love to see you there. And if you do come to the show, make sure to stick around after we're done. I will definitely be hanging out. Make sure to say hi. Okay, so a quick recap before we get into the industry insider side of things. Two huge pieces of news broke from trusted Hollywood trades over the last 48 hours. The first was that James Spader is officially back as Ultron for the Vision series. No other details were added. We speculated it might just be either previews to old stuff that happened back in 2015 between Ultron and Vision, or maybe even a voice inside his head. Then it was reported by Deadline that they had heard there's a possibility that Elizabeth Olsen could also return as Scarlet Witch for the series. That's where the official updates ended. Then cue up Daniel RPK, who had quite a bit of context to add to these. First, he started by saying that he's heard that, quote, Elizabeth Olsen is a lock to return for an upcoming MCU project that is filming in 2025. He stopped short of confirming whether or not that was Vision. There's also one other huge project filming next year in Avengers 5 that I'm sure most fans would want to hear that she's back for that. However, even though we don't know the production schedule for the Vision show, there's a good chance it films next year, and given the timing of all this news, that's probably what he's confirming. We can still keep our fingers crossed for Doomsday, though. Then he chimed in with another huge update for the Vision series. This is what he said, quote, I hear that Ultron is coming back for more than just a cameo. He will actually have a major role in the show. He also hears that the show will have elements of the West Coast Avengers. Now, there's actually quite a bit to unpack here. Let's start with Ultron. It's pretty clear that Vision, quote-unquote, destroyed Ultron at the end of Age of Ultron almost 10 years ago. And I thought when we discussed Ultron's return in a couple of videos ago, what this really would get back to was that line from Bruce Banner in Infinity War when he explains that Vision is really a complex series of overlays. The Mind Stone, Stark, Banner, Ultron, all working together, and that there are multiple parts to him. I thought that likely James Spader returning to voice Ultron would just be inside of Vision's head, sort of like a duality or running internal dialogue, because he's a part of who Vision is. I guess there's also a possibility, though, that one of two things took place in the MCU. Either Vision didn't totally eliminate Ultron, and he found a place in the internet or somewhere else to hide and has just been dormant this entire time, ready to return. That's a possibility. The other is that when the government was effing around with what they thought was Vision's corpse, that they actually either uncovered and or downloaded and or got a piece of Ultron where he's able to rebuild himself or reform in his full form. So that means that Ultron might end up being the villain of this series, which I would absolutely love. And what's even deeper than that is Ultron has been a foe of the West Coast Avengers in the past. Now, speaking of the West Coast Avengers, I would have been totally shocked if Marvel didn't go there, because we've basically got not only the entire lineup, but it's the entire lineup being featured right now, depending on which iteration of the team that you go with. Now, the very first iteration of the team from all the way back in the 80s included Hawkeye, Vision, Mockingbird, Wonder Man, who's about to have his own series, Tigra, who we don't have, but Iron Man, who is actually James Rhodes. We know there's an Armor Wars movie still looming, so there's seriously a ton of these characters still heavily in play and all still linked to the current landscape of the MCU. Now later in 2018, we would get a different version of the team that included some characters like, say, America Chavez and Kate Bishop, who have been introduced recently, but I think more likely those characters would just supplement the ones we don't have, and we would see more of a classic iteration of the team. Also, some of these characters overlap in more meaningful ways than others have in the recent part of the MCU. I mean, Clint and Vision have some very serious history, and going one step further than that, I think this is actually the natural conduit to getting some of these characters back, crossing over and on the same page, like, say, Rhodey and Hawkeye as we enter the late parts of the Multiverse Saga. This may even set up Armor Wars, or what that's meant to do or be as a film. Now, as far as using the Avengers title on certain projects, like a West Coast Avengers, and I think this is in the exact same category as the Young Avengers, a project that's been talked about forever, was seemingly confirmed by the post-credit scene of The Marvels when Miss Marvel is recruiting Kate Bishop. Look, I just don't think and have not thought for any amount of time, regardless of the updates we get, that Marvel is going to take the word Avengers and stick it on a title of anything other than The Avengers. It's one of the one sacred franchises, their biggest moneymaker, and they are not going to dilute or in any way lessen the name Avengers. I think by putting out a Young Avengers movie, a Young Avengers series on Disney+, a West Coast Avengers series on Disney+, don't go holding your breath and expecting to see any of this happen, and I actually think it's good business for Marvel not to do this. Again, they didn't even have to call Doomsday or Secret Wars Avengers films. They chose to do that because they know what Avengers means to the fans, a huge crossover event. They spent billions of dollars building that. I cannot imagine they would ever be willing to run out a Young Avengers title on Disney+, unless, again, it was a major event, but with the way things have gone, it just doesn't seem to be that, and I don't think Marvel's going to risk it. It's good business for them not to do this. So when you get an update like this for Daniel RPK, hearing it's going to have elements of the West Coast Avengers and we may see a team up between some of these characters, don't expect it to be called Vision in the West Coast Avengers or West Coast Avengers series, and I don't think you should go holding your breath for a Young Avengers series either. It just there may be a Young Avengers, and during the Multiverse Saga, they may call themselves that, and in canon, they may use that name, but it's not going to get slapped onto a title anywhere for a project because Marvel Studios is not willing to dilute that brand. It's for the best. You guys let me know all your thoughts though down below. With all this breaking news in the last 2 or 3 days, does that make you even more hyped for the Vision series? And are you as excited as I am about the return of Ultron? Let me know all your thoughts down below. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we are still giving away PlayStation 5s at the channel. For any of the giveaways we do here, super simple to be entered to win. All you got to do, hit the subscribe button, then leave a comment down below because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, same way we're doing here. Best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. Find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, under the name AllFires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.